Welcome to Your Personal Power Pod, a podcast about aligning yourself with the life you want. And here are your hosts, Sandy Abel and Shannon Young.
Shannon.
Hey, Sandy. What's up? What's new?
What's new? Well, I would like some rain. We have had so many beautiful days, and I love sunshiny days, but we've had like 3 weeks of them, and that's very weird for this time of year. So we could use some rain. So I'm focused on the weather right now.
Groundhog's Day was fairly recent, and the groundhog predicted 6 more weeks of winter. And I thought, more? Because those of us on the West Coast have not had any. There have been some serious snow events, but then it all melted. And now it's like, yeah, we would love 6 more weeks of winter. We would love for winter to start in our part
Right,
of the
that's
world.
right. Yeah, on the West Coast, we want winter to start.
On the East Coast, they're probably done with it.
Oh, I'm sure they're done with it. Oh my goodness, you East Coast fans. We're so sorry for all you've had to deal with. That's just insane.
And if you'd like, we will give you our address and you can send us some of your snow. We would take it. Hey, I wanted to share a quick follow-up to our episode on comparisons.
Oh, fun.
My story before we started talking about comparing and how it can rob you of joy in your life was
Right.
about how our house full of dogs is now furry all the time, and how I was comparing our furry house to my friend's house. She also has a couple of dogs, and her house is always so clean.
Right.
And I was very jealous of that and comparing my house to her house. And I told her this. And
Yes.
she laughed and said that you have no idea how happy that makes me because I always feel like my house is so furry. And so I just thought that's perfect because you never really know what's going on when you're comparing your life or situation to somebody else's life or situation. And it could be that they are also comparing in return. So I just thought that was funny.
Absolutely. That is a great story and such a good lesson. Comparing, unless there's just a lesson you can learn, is just a waste of time. Just be who you are. And if somebody's doing something that you think is awesome or has something you think is amazing, find out about it and learn how to do it.
Mhm.
But then let it go. Don't drag the comparison around with you because you can't do that.
I thought it was a fun story because it ties into a couple of the podcasts we've done. The one on comparison, one on giving compliments. She was so happy that I complimented her housekeeping skills.
Right.
And then also how happy it made me the way she responded to my message, which was saying, you always make me so happy. It always makes me so happy to hear from you. And so that ties into today's episode, which is about what?
Life being a team sport.
Yay!
Which is something I read the other day and thought, oh, well, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. And then I started thinking about all the different areas of my life and realized, oh my goodness, my life is definitely a team sport.
You're all about people.
Yeah, but I need people.
Yes.
And I didn't know that I needed people. But like for this podcast to happen, there's you and there's our incredible editor, Kelly.
We love you, Kelly.
We love you, Kelly. And we would be lost without Kelly.
We would not have a podcast
We
without
would
Kelly.
not have a podcast without Kelly. And we wouldn't have a podcast without you. And you guys are my team.
Well, yeah.
And things wouldn't happen that way if we didn't do what we do all together. We work together. And the same is in my life. Your dad and I, we're a team.
Yeah.
Neither one of us does everything alone. We each fill in for each other. He cooks sometimes, I cook sometimes. He cleans sometimes, I clean sometimes. He gets the tall stuff because he's tall. I get the short stuff because I'm short, you know. So what about you? Where are the teams in your life, Shan?
Oh, I mean, absolutely my husband, my work team.
That's right.
It's the most obvious because we each have such different skills.
Right.
One of us
Yeah.
is really good at one thing, one of us is really good at another thing, and then the third of us is really good at the last thing. And without that team, it would be so much harder for us to accomplish the things we accomplish on a daily basis. We complement each other really well.
Yeah. And that's the qualities of a good team. If everybody has the same skills, you just go around in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about life as a team sport.
Okay.
Well, we like to tell stories about the lone hero, you know, the
Yeah.
self-made person who figured it out alone and pushed through without help and emerged victorious and all that stuff, which is a myth. It's usually wrong because real life is a team sport. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we're constantly relying on other people, influencing other people, and being shaped by the people around us.
Yeah, we like to idolize the person who became a self-made millionaire or billionaire. But that's not true. Like, they didn't do it in a vacuum. There were
Right.
other people involved.
Exactly. So, in order to live life as a team sport, shift your mindset from me versus the world to me with the world and with others, and recognizing that you're both a player and a teammate.
Yeah, this is where figuring out what you contribute and then what you allow yourself to receive is really important. And then you can kind of adjust your actions according to what's happening around you and how well it's working.
And it's being okay asking for help without shame.
Oh, that's so hard.
I know it is, but you actually give people a gift when you acknowledge their expertise, like you did with your friend and her dogs,
Yeah,
and admitting that you don't know it all.
which requires listening.
Yes, lots of listening. First asking, then
Uh,
listening, and then celebrating other people's wins as part of the collective success.
you have to see other people.
Exactly, and not seeing their wins as a threat to yours.
And that also means understanding that what you do affects other people. So paying attention to the ripples that you put out.
Exactly. In a team sport, no one plays every position. You look at all the sports out there. You don't demand a goalkeeper to score all the goals or a striker to defend and net everything alone.
Did you just use a soccer analogy?
I did. I know that blows you away. Okay, we'll talk
Yes.
about football. How's that? Yeah.
Yes, you share
You
responsibility.
don't expect the quarterback to make all the goals. They throw the ball to a teammate who is a darn good runner and is fast and smart, and they work together. You share
Yeah.
the responsibility.
And it means shifting roles sometimes. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you support, sometimes your job is simply to show up and keep at it.
And if things aren't going your way, you look around your team and say, okay, obviously I don't have it today, so it's all yours. You go for it and make it happen.
Brene Brown talks about marriage and
Uh-huh.
how this idea that marriage is 50-50 is a crock. But she's like, it never happens, or it rarely happens, that you are both able to show up with 50% of your energy every day. She's like, at any given point, I'm 80%, my husband is 20%, or he's 70% and I'm 30. And your job as a marriage teammate is to fill in when your spouse can't.
Exactly. And that's what teammates do. They have the courage to let their teammates know if they're having a bad day or if they're having an on day and really good at it. You say, hey, I can do this today. You can take a rest, but you know you're all working together.
And so, what happens if we don't look at life that way?
Well, nobody survives alone. Nobody thrives alone. All of your skills came through relationships, your language skill, your sense of self, everything. And it's important to know that independence is not the absence of reliance. It's the ability to participate in interdependence without losing yourself. Like Brene Brown and her husband. They are both strong, independent people, but they also rely on each other.
There's a quote in, oh, I'm going to forget the name of the movie, Shall We Dance, maybe, when he's sneaking off to go take dance classes. And his wife is noticing a shift in their pattern and she knows something is going on, but she doesn't want to invade his privacy. So she just wants to know that everything is okay. So she hires a private detective who comes
Uh-huh.
back and says he's taking dance classes. And she's like, okay, there's no affair. He's not like addicted to drugs or anything. He's just doing his own thing. But she and the private investigator start talking about what it means to be married and why people get married.
Yeah.
And her response is one of my all-time favorite movie quotes. Basically, she says, in a marriage, you're promising to witness every little thing that goes on in this one person's life. There are too many of us to witness what's going on in everybody's life. So in a marriage, you're promising to say, I see you. I see what's happening in your life. I see what's going on in your world. And that's the gift that we give each other in marriage, is that I'm here to witness your life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I love that.
And it's so true. If you have a good marriage, you are there for each other through thick and thin, good and bad. That's even in the marriage vows for a lot of people. I am with you. I see you. We will do this together.
Yeah.
And that is a team. You are a team.
So that doesn't mean that things are always great. You're allowed to struggle
Yeah,
as part of a team,
sure.
but it isn't taken personally by anybody.
You just identify what isn't working and then shift it so it works, just like a sports team would.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you're defective. It just means maybe something needs to change. Maybe what's been working isn't working anymore. Maybe you just need to rest. Maybe together you come up with a different strategy, but you're standing with that other person or your teammates is always good.
Exactly. And then it makes success healthier and more fun because you're doing it together.
I remember watching middle school volleyball
Huh.
when our kiddo was playing, and you would see these kids learning how to be a teammate. If the team was doing great, sometimes the kids were all like, yeah, we're a team. But if they started to lose, you could start to see people pull away and
Mm.
distance themselves from their team members and get frustrated and like, oh, I can't believe I'm part of this team, you
Oh,
know?
and that's a shame because that's when they need to pull together most.
Right. But they're learning that.
When you pull together like that, especially when things are hard, it creates that sense of belonging, of really being able to support each other and count on each other.
Yeah.
And then that builds resilience. You're able to adapt. And even if somebody is burning out, somebody else is on and can pick it up and run with it.
Yeah, and it's so much more fun to celebrate a win together. And it's so much easier to shoulder a loss together.
Yeah, everything works better if you don't have to do it alone.
So, what happens when you don't live life as a team sport?
Well, that's a sad thing because you start to believe that needing help is a weakness
Mhm.
and you hide your struggles and then they just get worse. The isolation compounds your stress and makes small problems grow into big ones. It gets insane.
Yeah, I think we all know at least one person who's super hyper competitive, even with their own teammates. And that's
Yeah.
no fun. That just makes everything uncomfortable.
Yeah. You start measuring your worth against everybody else instead of growing alongside them. And then other people turn into obstacles instead of allies. Over time, this mindset can erode trust. If you assume you're on your own, you stop investing in the relationships or you approach them transactionally, keeping your mental tallies of who owes whom and who's better than who and who wins and who's a pain. And it's just negative.
Yeah, and there's no way for a relationship to become intimate. And I don't mean that physically. I just mean there's no room for intimacy if you can't trust the person you're working with, living with, being creative with, to not see you as a competitor.
Right. I know in your job, you each have your own skills. Together, you guys are a great team. And if one person has something happen in their life they can't show up that day, the others step up and say, no problem, we'll handle this. And you're there for each other. You know you have backup and you're not alone.
That's huge.
Yeah. I know we shared with our wonderful listeners about your year last year and all the struggles that you went through. And your husband was there through it all. He was a phenomenal team member. He made sure that everything was taken care of, that you were taken care of. He kept things going. He really stepped up and basically ran the team when you couldn't.
He did, and he never wavered.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, he never let me know he was afraid. He never let me know how stressed he was about it. He could have, and I would have understood that too, but he understood that I wasn't in a place to take care of him also.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And then when it was all over, he said I was terrified every single day. And that shocked me because he never let it show.
But he was being an awesome team member, pulling everything he could for the team because he knew that you couldn't at that point. And that's what a team does. It's you are there for each other. You back each other up completely. And if you don't have that, it's just really hard to survive.
When I look back on it now, I would have been completely unprepared to do last year without his support.
Yeah. And that's the sign of a good team. When things are good, you celebrate together. And when things are not so good, you stand strong.
We weren't designed as humans to live in a vacuum. You can achieve things and you may even think you're happy, but there's not a whole lot of growth that's going to happen if you can't interact in a productive, healthy, nurturing way with at least somebody.
Yeah. Being part of a team, finding your team is so important.
I knew a person many moons ago who was a lone wolf and
Mhm.
took great pride in that. And I remember him saying, I don't need anybody, and that makes me the strongest possible human.
Hmm.
And I was like, no, that makes you the weakest. Like, that's not a strength, dude.
Yeah,
You're limiting your life by hanging on to that mentality.
right. And he was making it so he would never have to be vulnerable.
Yep.
If you can't be vulnerable in a trusting relationship with at least one person, your life is going to be really empty.
Yeah, it was really sad.
I'm sorry. I hope he was able to grow from that,
I hope
away
so
from
too.
that. Yes,
But we all make our choices.
we do.
That
That
sounds
is
really
true.
cold. You want people to see this, but you can't get upset with them for it because then that just reinforces their belief that being alone is better.
Yeah, right.
Meeting people where they are.
And appreciating where they are and then helping them move ahead if they want to, hopefully together, because that's what teams do.
So this leads to the question my handful of friends and I talk about often, which is once you're an adult, it gets really hard to find and make friends. So how
Yes.
do we find these teammates?
Yeah, if you're not in school together or, with large groups of people all day, every day, it's tricky. So, first of all, what you do is identify what you want to accomplish and what are your goals. And then ask yourself, what do I like to do? What am I good at? And make sure you keep doing those things. And sometimes find people to do those things with.
Okay, but here is my conundrum, and you might have it too. We are introverts. We
Yes.
like being alone.
Yes.
So when you say find the things you're good at and maybe do them with other people, like I like to go kayaking. I like to go kayaking alone.
Right.
And it feels super scary to invite somebody new to go kayaking with me.
What is the scary part of that?
That's my happy, safe space. Okay, here's an example. I had a really good friend, still friends with this person, love her dearly, invited her to go to a movie with me. I love going to the movies by myself. I like sitting there in the quiet and the dark and letting the story wash over me. She likes to talk.
Oh, no.
And I can't go to movies with her
Uh-huh.
anymore. And so inviting her to go see a movie with me was a really disappointing experience.
Right. So she was the wrong team member for that activity.
Right. But I didn't know that until we did it. And
Right.
then it was kind of like, wah, wah, you know? And I don't
Right.
want to do that with kayaking.
And you don't have to do that with kayaking because you don't need a team member for kayaking. Although it might be nice to have somebody to help you get it on and off the Jeep,
Oh, I'm a badass.
Yeah, I know you can do it. You're tough. But if there is something where you need a team or want a team or just want to share with somebody an experience, because I'm sure you have experiences in your life that you do want to share with people.
Mostly coffee dates.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
safe place to start.
sure.
How about you? You like your alone time.
I really like my alone time. I like to walk, just be out. I talk about that all the time because I'm an introvert too. But when I'm doing things that I recognize I am not good at, like the podcast, you and Kelly understand all the technology that goes with that. I have zero ability with technology. You say, push that button and talk in that mic, and I do it. But if I had to do that by myself, it wouldn't happen.
You would figure it out. It would just take you a while.
Yeah, but it's not something that I'm good at and that I even want to be good. I don't want to be good at. So the bottom line is it's fine for you to do things like kayaking or me to walk on our own, but we don't do everything on our own. We're capable of walking and kayaking by ourselves. But you look at a lot of your life, it has to be a team sport because you have to acknowledge what you're good at and what you're not good at, and then find somebody who fills in the gaps.
It's not even like I need somebody to help me do something or learn something or achieve something. Like in my world, my goal is to have dear people in my life who I trust and have fun with and can rely on. That takes some time.
Well, it does because everybody does not click. Everybody does not connect. Like you said, you go to coffee and you find out who they are. And then if you feel comfortable and you mesh, they understand you, you understand them, it all works, then you can move ahead and find more activities to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a project or something, it's good to know who can fill in for you and take over the things that don't fit for you, like I do with a whole lot of stuff, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
real fine saying, I don't do that. I don't do numbers. I'm not a numbers person. I can if I have to. I can multiply and such, but I don't do those things. So that's why I have an accountant to take care of our finances. The thing is, you just have to find your team members, identify what you're good at and not good at, and then create your team so you can move ahead together.
Well, and I think it's important to clarify here that we have different kinds of teams. Like your accountant is your accountant, but your accountant is not the person that you're calling when you're going through a crisis, unless it's financial.
Exactly. Different team members have different talents, and they're each a special team.
We're back to sports references.
Well, because when you hear the word team, that's the first thing you think of. We just finished football season, so I think of football. Being okay with owning the fact that you're good at some things, you're not good at others, and it's fine and even important to find the people who can fill it all in so you can accomplish things and move ahead without too much stress.
Yeah, and I would argue that you can't ever really know who you are until you, I want to say, butt up against other people. That's not what I mean, but you need someone to reflect you back to you.
Somebody trustworthy, somebody
Yes.
who's going to be gentle and kind and honest, not somebody who's controlling and wants to make you somebody you're not.
Well, but even then, everybody we run across, whether they're wonderful and a trusted teammate or not so great and somebody you don't want in your life, how you react to that person helps you figure out who you are.
Absolutely.
So even people who aren't part of your team are important.
Because they teach you more about who you are. So the bottom line is that seeing life as a team sport doesn't mean you lose your individuality. Great teams are made up of distinct players. It means choosing cooperation over isolation, humility over ego, and connection over self-protection. It's checking in on people even when you're busy. It's letting others see you unfinished. It's understanding that progress is rarely linear and almost never solitary. In the end, life isn't about being a star of the game. It's about being someone others are glad to play alongside and allowing yourself to do the same. So, Shani, thank you for being on my life team. You're on so
Oh,
many of my
gosh.
teams. And Kelly, thank you for making everything happen.
Kelly's our VIP.
Yes, she is. She is.
Well, and thank you for birthing me into the team.
Yes, that was so smart of me. I did a good job.
And thanks to all of you. I mean, our listeners are part of this team also.
Absolutely. If we didn't have you, we wouldn't be here.
That's
So
true.
thank you so much.
So tell us all about it. We want to hear about your teams, how you found your team, whether you're still working on finding your team, who you are in your team, topics you'd like us to address. We love when you send those to us. That's super helpful. And if you feel like contributing to this team by reviewing our podcast, that also helps us figure out whether we're doing a good job or what we need to work on. So thank you so much for that. Also, if you want to learn about coaching and how it can change your life, contact Sandy at insidejobscoach.com. And until next time, find your power and change your life.